Hi, very warm welcome. It's Jim from maverickstar. Guys, we are going to be in a little bit of trouble if we don't raise a few bucks for the observatory over the next few days. I hate mentioning it, but we'll leave it till the end of the video. We'll mention the link there. What I wanted to talk about with you guys is the United Nations chose to pick on the least likely candidate in the atmosphere regarding gases to be the culprit, and I'll explain. You can see here a diagram of H2O, O3, N2O, CH4 and of course CO2. CO2 was their target. I'll just briefly explain what valences are. So carbon has a valence of 4, oxygen has a valence of 2, which means oxygen can bond with 2 other molecules, carbon can bond with 4 molecules, and obviously it creates hydrocarbon chains. I'm not going to go too deep into the chemistry of these things. I want to just point out something very simple to you. You know, in our atmosphere, carbon, the corporate CO2, is 0.4%. It's not a lot at all. It's the least abundant gas in our atmosphere. Nitrogen, I think we're around about 78%, oxygen 20%, and then you have these smaller gases that make up the rest of the composition of our atmosphere, and carbon dioxide is one of those, or monoxide. And it really is not a contributor to anything. If we go back millions of years, our most abundant gas in our atmosphere was carbon. And when microorganisms in our oceans started to expand their colonies and their existence in the ocean, talking about zooplankton and things like that, they scrubbed our atmosphere clean of the CO2. They're still here today. They've not gone anywhere. One of the remnants of these creatures, tiny microscopic, sometimes single cell organisms, are responsible for the limestone that we have today. That's where all your limestone comes. These are, when you're looking at a piece of limestone, you are actually looking at dead creatures from millions of years ago. That's how it formed. But the point is this, is that they've chose the least likely candidate, like a bully would. They go after the little boy in the school playground, don't they? And they beat him up all the time, techie sandwiches and things like that. And it's not the cause, because they totally, completely, absolutely pushed aside a bigger candidate, which is the H2O molecule, which makes water. Hydrogen and oxygen makes water, and it is a tri-molecule. It is also a greenhouse gas. Why does never any of these scientists from these organisations talk about H2O in our atmosphere? It's probably more abundant than many gases in our atmosphere. And here's the bottom line, it's going to become more abundant. And the reason for that is because, we have latent heat, we have condensation, we have evaporation taking place every single day. And it goes up into the atmosphere, and we have these things that come through our atmosphere, cosmic rays, and more so now than ever because of the weakened magnetosphere. Remember, we've lost 20 to 25% of our magnetosphere strength, so we're down to 3/4 of its natural protective ability, and we're having all these cosmic rays come in, not just because of the magnetosphere is weakened because of the Earth going through a magnetic reversal. We also have a compacting problem caused by the sun going through a grand solar minimum. producing less solar activity, weakens the heliosphere, which is a bubble, or the solar system's magnetosphere, and it's weakening and it brings it closer in, and that allows more outer cosmic rays to come through very easy. And then we've got our problem with the weakened magnetosphere. So where does H2O play a big role in this? Well, first of all, as you can see, it's a tri-molecule. It's made up of 3 molecules, 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. And the thing is that when these cosmic rays come into our atmosphere, the water molecule is presented with the perfect opportunity to condensate on them, and this is what creates more abundant clouds in our stratosphere. So we have more clouds in the stratosphere, in turn creating bigger jet streams. The jet streams are more laden with more water, and as a result they start to whine and turn as they go about their business, and fracture. And when we get them fracture, what happens is they intertwine with tropical jet streams, and then in turn, you know, we have warm and cold coming together, and that can create, depending where it is over the hemispheres, different situations. We can have more snow, we can have more rain, we can also end up with, because of the behaviour of the jet streams, severe droughts and loss of rain seasons. And that is how our climate is being changed. That's the bottom line. It's not CO2. They don't even talk about H2O, water molecule, which is more abundant in the atmosphere than anything else. They won't even look at that. And it's amazing, isn't it? They say that CO2 is a greenhouse gas. Well, if CO2, being a tri-molecule made up with 3 molecules, is a CO2 gas, then why did they completely omit the water molecule, which is made up of 3 molecules? Now, some people are very concerned that the Earth core has come to a grinding halt. It's not the case. If that had have happened, you know, our magnetosphere sensor would have gone straight down to 0, and it has maintained what it has. And you can go onto the website, the archives are there for at least 4 years. You can see it is sometimes, you know, wavering over the 200, sometimes wavering down to its calibrated position of 198, and it's still there where it should be. So the Earth's core has not come to a grinding halt, and the magnetosphere has not collapsed at this present time. The magnetic poles have come to a grinding halt. We know that. And it seems to be loitering around the same area as it was for the last 2 months. That doesn't mean anything, guys. It really doesn't. We're just here observing, just like you guys are. Only we have, the only difference between me and you is that I've got the equipment that is monitoring this. I'm just reporting it back to you as it happens. Yes, very, very exciting times we're in right now, and for some reason also very frightening times, because, you know, this is a major anomaly which is taking place at our front door today. Whilst me and you are engaged in this is taking place beneath our feet, and we don't know what really will be the outcome of this. We can make predictions, we can make forecasts as much as we want. We can speculate, but what we want is facts. So we have to, at this point in time, just rely on the equipment to keep measuring, and then maybe we'll get a better idea. If the magnetic North Pole starts tracking westerly at an alarming rate, then, you know, we know what's coming. You and me know what's coming. If that starts to accelerate westerly at an alarming pace from now, we know what's coming. We've seen the experiments. We know what's coming next. Guys, I know this observatory is my own doing. You know, I created it. I created it so that people around the world could get access to some form of clarity about what is really going on. But we're in trouble here, is the bottom line, and we need some financial assistance, and we can't go to the big companies to ask for that. You know, it's back down to just me and you, you know, us guys, and things really need to improve. Is all I can say. We do something here different to the others. I hope you realise that. You know, we are the ones that don't just talk about the things, we actually act. We've got the equipment, and you know, we have the only Trimax system in existence in this world here at this observatory, and I have brought it to this point. I don't want to go back. I don't want to leave 10 years work and research behind. It's shameful to ask for help, but if we don't get on, well, you know what will happen, don't you? Guys, I'm going to say what I usually do. There is a link down there where you can help us if you want to. It's not mandatory, but you know what? If everyone just looks at it like that, we're done. We're just dust on everybody's shoes, and something great disappeared. So there is a link there. Take care of your loved ones. As always, bye for now.